Try to remember the most influential speaker you've ever heard. You may not exactly recall what he or she said, but chances are you remember how it made you feel. There's a reason why influential business leaders so often tell stories as part of their leadership practice. The reason is because it's effective. And the reason it's effective is because what it does to our brains. When we hear logic-based arguments, namely data, facts, statements, and reason, it activates the language processing part of the brain. As a listener, we grasp the facts and things make sense, but it won't move us. This is one of the reasons why effective leaders tell story, because story goes beyond the language processing parts of the brain and activates the other parts that control behavior and decision-making, which is exactly what we want if our goal is to change people's perspectives and move them into action. And why is storytelling so effective? The first reason is because as listeners, our brains actively sync with the storyteller, as though we're experiencing the story ourselves. That's what story does. It connects us through a shared experience. And story also creates the necessary conditions in the brain to create empathy. When we hear a story, we instinctively find a way to place ourselves within the story, almost as if asking, how would I react in that situation? And if we can create engagement and empathy, it can lead to trust and reciprocity. These are the feelings that can help galvanize a team. And what's more, the more authentic the story, the more intensely the feelings of empathy, trust, and reciprocity in our listeners. And yet, there are still many business leaders who don't leverage story, in part because they don't know about the science behind it, or they discount it as an afterthought or a nice to have. But based on our experience, those leaders who embrace story and strategic narrative have a competitive advantage over their peer group because of its irrefutable power. At Rylentless, we help our clients tell their stories as a method of strengthening connections with their employees and customers alike. And we don't see it as a nice to have. We see it as an essential part of telling the world what you and your business stand for, which of course cannot be an afterthought. All the world's a story. Rylentless can help you tell yours.